playoffs where they started having a couple losses hit them, it actually makes you think TPA would be better in one best of ones, which is what they have here against OMG, where they're the underdogs.
Well, let's find out. The ban's underway here, and the first one coming out is once again Kassadin. This time, though, taken by OMG on the blue side. On the other side, though, who can really blame TPA for this ban? Thresh against Alan. He was absolutely amazing with Thresh earlier today.
Yeah, that is no huge surprise right there. The interesting thing is his most played support was Annie, who was not nearly as powerful as she was at the beginning of the season. I wonder who they're actually going to try and target, because I feel like Fnatic was so close to starving Seyoung out of his champion pool, and he ended up getting the Lulu right at the very end. It's just a dangerous thing to do because Morning's champion pool is honestly quite small.
Interesting second ban there as well for OMG, taking away Jax from Archie. Funnily enough, only played it once this season, and whilst they don't really lose a lot of games, that was one game that they did lose. That was the first game of the best of 5 against the Taipei Snipers. We'll move on though, because LeBlanc also being banned out here. Seyoung not going to get his hands on it this time around.
It really does feel like OMG's very much about their own game in the preparation here. Going is a type of player who actually gets behind almost every game because the team sacrifices him to the others. They move around with everyone else. He's the one who has to be in the 1v2 or have his own lane that's pushed and screwed around with the whole time. So if he's against a Jax, the enemy top laner would actually outscale him, and I think that's a very OMG specific ban, because that's the one thing that would end up outscaling what he picks himself.
Interesting ban there of the Lee Sin against Archie. We talked about that earlier on. Nunu also taken away here from the TPA side of things. So let's get on to the picks. The first pick here, locked in quickly, was Kha'Zix for OMG.
Yeah, not a huge surprise there. It was their most played champion as a team in the summer or the spring season of the LPL. We've seen Kha'Zix in pretty much every game. We've seen Lulu in every game in the mid lane as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it again right here. Morning's going to lock it down right away.
And the Elise as well, 4 wins, of course, did play that in their earlier game against SKT. And honestly think that Wins had, considering the loss in that game, a very good game.
Yes, he did. I can't believe, actually, that Ziggs was still available.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this. It's Morning's far and away best champion. If we remember, Morning played at the IM World Championship and destroyed Gambit Gaming as a team with his Ziggs. They didn't pick that. And the Syndra from Seyoung is also his most prolific champion in the mid lane. He dominates people 5-0 during the regular season, and he gets it here. Obviously, the bans from TPA were targeted at things they've kind of done well with, but they've done even better with Syndra.
Interestingly as well, the Annie lock-in, we touched on it before, Alan's go-to champion, actually most played champion throughout the season. And the funny thing with that is your next point, that Annie is weaker now.
A little bit weaker for sure, but still used as hard initiation. Alan had 100% kill participation on Thresh, who has to land these tough skill shots to initiate, and he puts a Timbers on someone's face, and that initiation starts. The fact, oh my god, is all I have to say. They have every champion that they want. Going is 26-2 lifetime in competitive play on Renekton, undefeated this season. They're undefeated with Syndra. Twitch is their favorite AD carry as well. They're undefeated on that. They are just out of control as far as the team composition they've been able to put together.
So let's talk about their opponents then, TPA, because they've locked in the Karma support along with Graves here, and currently hovering over Lissandra. We'll see if that actually gets locked in by the end. It will be locked in here. Wow.
So Archie would try to keep Renekton at bay here. With these lineups, they would actually look to try and force standard lanes if they could. Otherwise, I don't know what necessarily chance they have. If Seyoung can isolate 1v1 against Morning because of lane swaps and have no jungle presence, he should be able to destroy him early, and then that would skip the mid game or skip the early game and get Twitch easily out of laning for a long late game push. I still really, really like OMG's composition, and TPA has gone a little bit on the other side.
And the funny thing is, if you look at GPL as a whole, I think that's the region where we see the most uncommon picks, the more crazy stuff, of course. And again, Lissandra, it's not as if this is the first time we're ever going to see a top lane Lissandra. We've seen it in Europe, for example, a couple of times as well. over the course of the last year. But
yeah.
TPA here, I think, taking a bit more of a risk. We heard Archie probably needs to play some stronger champions. I don't know if Lissandra is that.
He definitely is playing something different. Never played it at all during the regular season or playoffs. But I absolutely agree with your point there that they are the region that seems more separated from everyone else. They don't necessarily mimic each other's strategies. There's a lot of support Malphite in their playoffs as well. And even in the Season 2 World Championship when TPA came in, they were playing a lot of different stuff as well. So even though it doesn't seem like it's strong right now, it very well could catch them by surprise.
Well, as these two teams prepare to go head-to-head, we'd like you guys to turn to Twitter and let us know who you think will win this match. Tweet to us using hashtag OMG win or TPA win to @LOL eSports and let us know. I think I've already gathered from things so far that OMG is probably your pick after looking at these comps.
Just based on them having the absolute best champions for them. Everyone is probably playing their favorite champion right now, which when you jump into a world stage competitive environment, you would want nothing more than to have the team comp OMG has right now.
So here we go then into game OMG versus TPA. You have to say a must-win game more for TPA at this stage of things. OMG already having that win to their name after taking down Fnatic earlier on today. The question is, are we going to see another spat here at level 1? Something that we've been seeing a lot of today.
And something that was crazy to me is TPA's games in the playoffs for GPL, they had a level 1 almost every game in this exact rush.
And they're going for it here once again. Alan moving from flash stun onto 3 men, but the damage coming back here. Alan's low, Pomelo goes away, Alan goes down, and Bebe's chasing.
So close.
Pomelo very low, Going is low as well. Bebe now moving in from the side. Can they get any more? I don't think so, but Going will be the target. They get the stun onto him. Will they get the damage there to finish off? Flash, Going flashes as well. What a crazy level 1.
Oh man, right there, Joe. And it just kind of goes to show you that that's exactly what GPA did in their GPL finals a month ago. That brush was the site of so many ridiculous level 1s that they love to get themselves involved with. The empowered Q from Karma there wrecked OMG, absolutely. Alan Flash got the stun, sure, but he flashed for the stun. No one else was there. The stun wore off and then the fight started. And it was TPA. Lucky enough, they only got 1 kill if you're OMG because they can still salvage this one. That was a disaster level 1 for OMG.
And now they've got themselves back together. I'm assuming that after that level 1, it's a little bit late for them to be thinking about any more on this one. We see that the duo lane is going to the top side of the map. The same seems to be the case here for TPA. Are we going to see any more Alan inside the brush? Who's going to come through? It's Bebe that they stun up first. Have they got the damage here? San actually taking a lot of damage back. They're going to put the damage back towards Bebe. Exhaust is used as well. Bebe won't die from that one, but again, it's crazy. And Jay is still chasing on. San takes another burst. No one going down, though.
Yeah, and BB actually was back to base and was able to pick up a couple extra goodies as far as consumables are concerned, so he should be able to heal up from that a little bit better than San. But this is weird. It's actually a top laner, AD carry, support, pushing in a 3v2. I really want to see how this plays out. OMG does some slightly strange stuff early game. This just doesn't seem that good. Great interrupt there by BB.
And actually, San, he's very, very low. Xiang and Morning here, gonna go head to head. Xiang
he goes for kills.
He's got the stun down. Has he got the damage? No, he doesn't. Morning survives it.
Wow, that's exactly why Xiang is the Syndra man who always wins on it. He goes right from the start, as hard as he can, trying to kill you, does not care about jungle presence, and so many of OMG's strategies actually revolve around keeping the other jungler down just so he can 1v1 the opponent. That was a fantastic start. 14 CS to 3, already forcing Morning back to base at level 1.
3 minutes into this one, we've already seen more action than in some games by the 20-minute point. This is an absolute crazy start. See there, Lissandra going back, going significantly behind, but we are, of course, very early on. And to be honest, Going, I don't know if he really knows where he's Going because he's been all over the map until now.
Well, he's making his return into top lane. He actually went up there and said, "What are you guys doing here, Alan and San? Go bot lane." And I guess that's eventually what they've done. It's so strange to me here because we think of the Chinese scene, especially last year at Worlds, and they were the Chinese aggression, the tower dives, the early games, the fast matches. But OMG was one of the slowest teams in LPL this year. They actually felt out a lot of their opponents, did very well late game, and just out-team fought people. Their early games, oftentimes would either be conservative or they'd straight up lose them.
Oh, here's Xiong getting a lot of pressure in the mid lane, forces the flash there. Wins starting to chomp down on him, and well, half of his HP gone from that one. Already used his Ignite earlier on, of course, and that's now his flash down. His opposite number, Morning, also doesn't have any summoners left. Heal and Flash were already using this one. As Pomelo is going to meet Wins here. Who's going to get the better of this one? The stun's going to come across. It lands onto Wins, who flashes. OMG not following up from that one, though. That
was probably the first good move OMG's made in this 4.5-minute game. And that's extremely concerning if you're an OMG fan. So much of the early game like 4v1 pushes and lane swaps usually have a point. So if you're doing a 4v0, you're trying to get the early turrets down and kind of skip the laning phase. If you do the counter like OMG did earlier, where they isolate Sand to get more farm and then freeze the lane with going, they're trying to shut down the enemy jungler and getting their AD carry farmed. They literally have nothing good going for them here. They're losing almost all their lanes. Xiong is the only one with a slight edge, but he just got ganked and burned his flash. It's just all going wrong at the moment.
Alan actually just had a wander down towards mid lane here, putting a ward on that ramp up towards the TPA Wraith camp, and his AD carry had already gone back here, so not losing out really on too much. He wouldn't have been getting anything and been pushed that far up if he'd have stuck around, but he's definitely hanging here in mid. Problem is, Morning is not there at all.
He was really hoping to kickstart that lane even farther. OMG is really just looking to take their one advantage and build on that excessively. He already has a pretty big CS lead, and they were hoping to get a kill there. It just wasn't going to happen. Oh dear, that might.
Wins is going to face straight right into him, and there is the damage coming down, the stun as well. He's got nowhere to go with the repel. They wait for him, and Pomelo picks up the kill.
Just catching him walking down, a little bit of carelessness there by Wins. You notice he dropped the ward point blank. Clearly he just wanted vision over the brush, but why walk that close before the ward? Just a little bit. His mind was in a different place. He wasn't thinking about what was directly in front of him.
A very interesting but strange start, I think we can safely say, to this game, as Alan there just trying to keep Archie away from things. There's Morning getting stunned up as well. Xiong is getting close to level 6, and we'll see how much damage he can put down. And Archie here, they're going to dive in. They're going to go straight in for this one. It's Alan that's tanking up the turret. He gets away easily. Now we see Elise coming in, but Wins not going to be able to do anything about that one. Really well done by OMG.
That is the classic OMG. Back to basics, the 3v1 turret dive early on in the game. Nice turret tanking by Allen, gets the stun, and secures the kill.
There's Morning, Xiong again going head-to-head. Xiong going decently low here. Half HP again, will be just running through them pots and keeping himself healthy. Double Doran's ring start for him, and boots as well. So wanting to have a bit of mobility on that one. I want to look at CS here while we have a little bit of a respite in this game, and we'll see how much of a respite that actually turns out to be after the chaotic start that we've seen.
Yeah.
The AD carries in particular, and the top lane I want to focus on, because TPA have a massive lead in CS in both of those lanes.
They really do, and it's because of the focus that OMG has put on their mid lane, just picking the Cinder and trying to go for that. And because of the disastrous early game that happened for OMG, when they sent 3 people up in the top lane, which was their AD carry and their top laner, just against the 2, they immediately set themselves back. They weren't going to make any progress with those 3 people. And then the mere fact that Twitch and Annie had to go all the way back to base and then all the way back to the lane set them behind in 2 lanes. Lane-wise, they're actually losing this game, but because Xiong is winning so heavily and Kha'Zix has been able to pick up 2 kills off the back, they're actually up in gold.
Xiong again trying to stun out Morning again. Alan is going to make his move towards this mid lane. Pomelo is there as well. He's just hit level 6, so big point for him here coming in. Morning is 6, Wins is 6. We saw already that Xiong is level 6. OMG going to look for a bit of buff control. Actually, ulti popped here for Pomelo. Is he going to go aggressive onto Jay? Either way, it keeps him guessing and keeps Jay away from this danger zone around blue. They need to be real careful, though.
You can tell they want to collapse him. Pomelo is now completely out of ultimate charges. If Wins lands a stun, that would have been devastating, but Xiong with a great flank to keep them at bay in the corridor.
Tell you what, Jay being aggressive here as well. They're going to get the leash on towards Alan. All the damage coming down, but Wins is taking too much. They dive in onto him there. Stun's coming in. It's Xiong that gets the kill. Jay's a dead man as well. And now Going is going to try and get on towards Bebe. Can they finish him off? The damage puts him down to less than half HP. Flash in from Going, and a double kill for the Crocodile.
That was a nice bait by OMG. They knew full well they had the Crocodile with the teleport ready to come in, and TPA took it absolutely. They are now down 5 kills to 1. and the Dragon about to happen as well for OMG. That went spectacularly for them.
And they've got the complete vision dominance over that bottom side of the jungle. Look at the mid lane as well. Those minions push right up onto the turret. Not sure exactly how much damage has been done to that one. Not that much in the grand scheme of things, but they get the Dragon. This is the reply from TPA. Reply is pretty much the only thing they could have done with Renekton already leaving, with Archie not having his TP available. They take the turret.
Still absolutely worth it. It keeps the game at least a little bit close. And we have to mention that OMG is the most dominant regular season team in the history of the LPL. They had a 25-3 record when you add up all their 2-game sets. No one's ever done that. I mean, even in a 28-game split of any league. Cloud9 had a 25-3 in the summer split of North American LCS. And that's about it. China as well, extremely competitive, and that's impressive. And in their 3 losses, the only thing that really kept them down was if they lose terribly early game. Because their team fighting is so good, and they understand late game team fights so well, that the fact that TPA is behind 1,500 gold right now does not speak well.
Not looking good for them here, and following on from that, Xiang on Syndra, masses of CS in the lead. Of course, got to kill a little bit earlier on, as Bebe is going to have to just dodge away from this one. Actually getting some good poke back, mainly from Jay there, on towards San. And actually the teleport is coming in. Alan's going to be squeezed in between them. The ultimate from Archie coming down perfectly. And that's something that Lissandra can do, not only teleport in and do damage, but lock someone up for that instant CC.
I still remember, actually, Soaz's top lane, Lissandra, from the World Championships, and he's trying to replicate that right here with the nice teleports in. They're going to try to get more off this one while he's down bottom.
San actually going low from him. We see the flashes. Jay is going to go down low. Pomelo gets the kill. Ulti's away. He could probably have Bebe here as well. Doesn't quite get the slow. Are we going to see them go for it? Yes, they are. Bebe is alive, though. San is now falling low. He does get the kill back, but he's going to fall to Wins, who jumps down, takes another turret hit. Well, that was a big exchange.
Syndra is in flight, though, trying to catch on to Wins. He does have flash. He might close here.
Oh, he flashed through the cocoon from that one. Wins using his flash at the perfect time, though. Very crazy stuff as going. He's going to fight 1 versus 2. Wow. Almost took Archie. Almost not good enough, though.
Just when we thought we had this game figured out, it gets thrown on its head again, because TPA just made some absolutely huge moves. It looked like death when they did that turret dive, and there was a full health, double buff Kha'Zix. But they got overconfident, they overplayed their hand, and it ended up giving the kill right to BB there. Unbelievable turn of events here, pulling 200 gold away. That was just crazy right there. So now Morning in the mid lane, 41 CS behind Syndra.
Crazy stuff there. Bebe so close to keeping himself alive. Of course, San also doing decent damage as Morning is going to get hit here with the Ignite. He's got a shield, though. He's not going to fall from that one. However, the turret might not be as lucky. Wins is now coming across. Pomelo is there as well, going to spot himself that pink ward that's been there for quite the while here. Meanwhile, down this bottom lane, see the Graves going towards Bloodthirst, so they're going to try and lock down Alan. I think they've got it. There's the ultimate again out of Archie. You can't get away from it.
That top lane Lissandra is rather scary right now, and it's going to be on Going to use that Tiamat to push the side lanes as much as possible. I really like in this game how the team's strengths are remaining their strengths, and it's just becoming more so in that direction. The mid lane matchup is completely over. It's doubled the CS for Xiang. But then there's BB who's powering up, and Archie who's powering up on the other side. It's still going to be that 2 lanes to 1 strength, and it's really just about how much Xiang and Pomelo can do as that mid lane and jungler.
Just seen a couple more turrets fall in here as well. The bottom and top outer turrets, 1 apiece, leaves TPA still in the lead as Go in here. It's going to spot Wins. They both pretty much warding on top of one another. Go just backs away. 2 minutes there is the timer again for Dragon. Xiang is getting himself the blue buff as well in this middle lane. That CS lead is just out of control. We can almost stop really talking about it up until now. It surprised me if somehow Morning is able to get back. There's 1,500 gold pretty much between the two of them because of that.
Morning's actually given up fighting Syndra. He ran to the top lane, and he's just trying to take the free lane CS. That's the only way he's going to be getting to his items, because he cannot handle Syndra 1v1.
And Alan, who's been omnipresent here in the TPA jungle, once again gets a deep ward around by that blue buff. And we can see that Jay did spot that one actually happening. We'll go down there and try and get it away as Archie Gonna get shut down, surprised by the damage and Twitch, and Jay is caught in the middle of the jungle as well. He's gonna fall from this one. That's Pomelo who gets a kill to move up to 4-1-1. Wins coming back in there. Not sure the greatest decision. They're gonna have that timing on the blue. Again, so well done by OMG across the board.
That was just so damn clever. They only committed 2 to the mid lane gank because that's all they needed for the kill, even though they had 4 in the area, which really threw off Jay as he was trying to walk through. 2 people waiting in a brush for him, and another stun chain.
Can't do anything about that one. Did get his wild growth down, but very last second stuff. That tower's gonna fall. They dive back in. Bebe going low, and here comes the crocodile again from the side. Underneath the turret, Bebe goes low. Will he be finished off? Not going here. Taking too many hits from the tower, and Xiang is still doing damage. This time on towards Archie. He's gonna get stunned up, gets the kill on his way out, and manages to survive.
Xiang is an absolute monster on Syndra. I'd watched some of the games against the other Chinese mid laners, but this is one of the most spectacular performances I've seen. His score, his CS, and the way he is just controlling people, landing almost all of his stuns with his team's follow-up is ridiculous.
Amazing, amazing play. Almost 4,000 gold lead here for OMG. Again, to go back to Syndra, 3-0-3 now. The items really starting to rack up. By the way, the Dragon has respawned in now, so we could see some action around there. TPA, of course, knowing, getting their wards in as early as they possibly can. OMG are on the bottom side of the map here with Pomelo and San. Alan, of course, who's been pretty much past the halfway mark on TPA's side of things for the entire game, will once again be hanging around there. Puts a ward over the side, but he's got a face check here. Half of his health instantly taken away. Didn't have the damage, and I think very apprehensive about staying.
TPA really needs to stall this one out. That's a really nice step, but they're still waiting on their ultimates. They have a teleport from Archie that can come in, but they need a little bit more time to realistically defend this. OMG forcing hard because they know.
Are you going to be able to walk down that ramp when Xiang is there, when Alan doesn't quite have Tibbers available for him? You're not going to is basically the answer to that one. OMG get themselves a Dragon, scan out the wards. This turret should be easy pickings at some point. San is actually pushing the lane up here, right onto that tower itself. They've left him alone, though. They need to be a little bit careful about what they do there.
This is actually very reminiscent of the game TPA. Obviously, it's a little bit more crazy, but the game TPA played earlier today against SKT, where they're showing flashes of being really good.
Yeah.
Getting some nice team fights where they're almost winning, but then they're either just making critical mistakes or just falling behind in gold in general. And it's giving them these 4,000 and 5,000 gold differences that they then have to make up for with even better play. And with the way OMG is just waiting in the darkness right now is scary.
San actually pushing forward there. They were trying to set up that death push as well as Xiang is going to get the stun onto Morning. Does he go all in on this one? Decides against it and actually has been isolated completely. That's a great flash away though. If Archie had have got in range, the ulti would have come down. They would have killed him off.
It's a big, thick wall, and Xiang is showing that the nerves are not affecting him here on this world stage. Remember, he's just played one big split in the LPL with OMG here. He got more MVP points as far as the voting system goes over there than anyone else in the entire LPL. And he was a replacement for Cool, who was the previous year's MVP and was great at Worlds. So he had really big shoes to fill this year, but he's done great.
Filling them so far. We can't say a bad word against him, I think, at this point. Look at that, CS continues to climb in his favor. And look down some of the other areas of the map that we pointed out earlier on, which was Bebe and Archie being ahead in CS over their counterparts. They are now both level or behind when it comes to Archie's side of things.
And there goes the neighborhood for them. They've really lost all of their advantages. Graves will be outscaled by Twitch at this point, already down 700 gold. Don't even want to talk about the mid lane. You almost can't even do that math. 2,800 gold already, 18 minutes into the game. And Lysandra, while still providing kill pressure if they're in an isolated situation, won't do it in the team fights.
Good flash from Wins. I'll give him his credit where it's due. We've seen, I think, 3 flashes now that have been clutched from Wins. At the end of the day, baits out the Tibbers from Alan. But for his flash, is it worth it? We may find out shortly here. We see that OMG are already moving to take the 3rd turret of the game, the final outer turret that stands for TPA. That will go down without too many problems. TPA can't stand around and try and defend this one.
Exactly. OMG has far too much control on the map now. Even though that is just a 3 turret to 2 advantage, it shows much more in the presence within the jungle. Look at all the darkness on the side for TPA when that map is toggled. They don't see much other than Xiang, who, when they see, they just want to run away from, meaning they can't go in their own jungle.
They see 4 people now because they got a ward there, but can they fight those 4 people? No, they can't. They can only really observe them taking away the entire jungle. Actually, in the top lane, Going did just push the wave right up towards the inner turret, but went back there as Archie made himself visible. This is another blue buff. These buffs, they've been contested every time by OMG.
It is just adding to the fact that Morning is lower, and when OMG wins their games in the LPL, they often do it by denying not only the enemy mid laner, but the enemy jungler. It's really anyone that can affect Xiang and what he does. So, take out the jungler, he can 1v1 the mid laner down far enough, and then no one can help him, which is the most important thing. It's one of the big reasons they've been so dominant.
Let's have a look at some items then while both these teams start to back off somewhat. We can see there is KDA in LPL, 6.78, 6 KDA in this one, so he's pretty much hitting that Syndral level that we've come to expect.
Yeah, undefeated, absolutely crazy. He's going to shop pretty soon, actually. He's sitting on 2,200 gold. But he's going to be getting a death cap pretty soon, and that's going to be even scarier. San 1v2.
1v2 and he's going to get one of those kills as well. Jay just been exploded by San. They've got Pomelo, they've got Alan there as well. They may have a good go at this turret. Why is the TPA bringing down 3 men towards that area? Here comes the teleport as well. Who are they going to go for? San says, I'm invisible, you're not going to get me. The only option really would be Alan, who's already backed away. Xiang is enough of a force to be reckoned with. They don't go for him. They don't go where he could be.
Joe, and that's the outscaling we were talking about between Twitch and Graves. Twitch versus Graves and the Karma was still heavily in his side, and Going is off in his own world up here, as they often do for OMG, split pushing and giving them even more advantage.
Young actually is going to get ulted on here. This may be the death of him. He gets the stun down, but I think he's a gunner. It will be Archie that gets the shutdown.
Nice that they could get one, but they're still down 5,000. That would be a quick relief of pressure for them. They need to use this now to get some ward control back in their own jungle so they can hopefully find a few more catches like that. But once again, that was a Lissandra alt burned. That's really how they're only getting their kills.
It really is. 4 of them, of course, have been picked up by Archie. 1 assist in there of the 7 kills involved in 5 of them up till now. If we look at the Dragon area of the map as well, where it will be spawning in 35 minutes, it's only blue wards. Pink wards at that, actually, so we'll see if they go down for it, TPA here, or honestly whether they feel that even going near that Dragon is not even a question.
They swept out a few things with that kill, which will be decent for them. The Dragon is still basically a suicide mission for them.
Yeah.
And I really do need to touch on Wins and how he wasn't on TPA during the regular season. They were using Dinter for the majority, and they had very close playoffs. They had a best-of-5 victory over TPS, the Snipers, who Wins was actually on. And then they won the finals against AHQ in one of the most ridiculous best-of-5s I've ever seen in all 5 games. And when they picked up Wins, it was actually hailed as one of the most substantial pickups in the GPL, because he was such a good jungler for the Snipers and would hopefully fill a huge hole for TPA, but it's not enough against OMG.
Wild growth having to be used there, and Twitch just ripping Graves to pieces. They even tank up the turret there right at the very end. Meanwhile, Pomelo did the Dragon all on his own. 23 minutes, let's call it, into this one, and approaching an 8,000 gold lead in favor of OMG. Again, the vision that they've tried to work for as the flash comes in. Wins actually is going to repel up, but he's coming straight back down on top of them. They've got the damage. Xiang just throws his ultimate straight in there. Gets the group stun as well. Not quite got the follow-up to do anything about that one, but just running riot.
Yeah, and that's with Renekton the whole time in the top lane, just control and power. Death cap being completed. I want to touch on San's Twitch build as well when we get that back up, because it's a Blade of the Ruined King and a Ghost Blade on Twitch, something you never see in North America, but is very popular actually in the GPL, this time being adopted by San to try and take people out from the darkness.
Going is not even remotely afraid in this top lane. There are 4 men there, sticks around, finishes off that turret, That will be, of course, the 5th one of this game. And now, as I was talking about 8,000 gold earlier on, we are closer to a 10,000 gold lead for OMG. TPA need a bit of a miracle here.
They do need a bit of a miracle. What I saw when I was watching GPL for them, at the very least, is there were a lot of games there which could swing wildly in gold, especially in their finals against AHQ. There was one game where they came back from a nearly 10,000 gold disadvantage. Uh-oh, though.
I think Archie might be a dead man here. Actually flashes away, but Xiang used the ulti, pulling through. Here's Renekton as well, using the exhaust onto him. Morning will flash away from the stun of Xiang as well, but now Winds is going to try and escape. He's gone up in the air, but he's got nowhere to go. The Wraith camp isn't there. Bebe is trying to run from Go in the entire time. Winds will fall in the end. That's a 3 for nothing, and really a 3 for no health even from OMG.
They were not even scratched in that engagement. Plus, they have killed the smite threat from the other team. Chinese teams generally have a lot of play around Baron, but I think that's mainly because they use it as a team fighting tool. They already won the team fight, so they just get to take Baron now.
For free. Actually, Bebe is now coming across the side. Fires his off his ultimate, and well, not really going to offer them anything. He was just doing his red buff on that one, but he gets caught out. Alan going to get the stun down onto him. And here's the fight in the middle.
All right, we can just assume that he was going to die on that one, but this mid lane fight is going on. Nope, they didn't even get him. Check that out. Going now on Archie. Uh-oh.
He's dead, though. We did manage to catch that one. Alan actually died in the end there, so that fight was, in the end, a 1-for-1 encounter. But San is still full HP. Will they start to push anything more with this one? Pomelo, who himself is pretty fed at this stage. 5-1-4 is that Kha'Zix.
I mean, it's just more the reason why he was the most played champion for them during the regular season. It just fits their style so well. They go for isolated targets because they take so many people weak and they can just keep them down again and again. Look at the power now on Xiang. He will be able to basically instantly kill someone on the other side. There's no magic resist that is even able to be built really by TPA because they're being starved so heavily on gold. They can't enter their own jungle. They can't get any of the global objectives, and they've lost all of their outer turrets.
TPA trying to catch someone out, and generally the way to go if you're so far behind that a team fight is really out of the question is to try and pile 3-4 players onto one that just happens to walk through. Funnily enough, OMG aren't on that bottom side of the map. They pushed out that mid lane once again. The top lane is pushing, or will be actually pushed back in a little while here by TPA, but OMG themselves looking for a couple of catches. There is a pink ward actually. Will spot out that Twitch's position, and they come back off. I'm assuming got a decent amount of gold to actually be spending here because they've been wandering around for a long time. There's 1,500 gold, for example, for Twitch to spend.
And he picks up a static Shiv, so he's just kind of doing his own thing. Very attack speed focus build in this one. Even more upfront damage because he's really just being that roaming assassin right now. But Alan and going, find some friends.
This is a 3 versus 2. Going extremely tanky. Alan himself will be doing decent amounts of damage. He saw out the rest of the team now that's moving in. There's a stun, it lands onto Winds. No ultimate coming out though from Xiang just yet. Well, that lane is going to be pushed up by Going. OMG might make a move on that inner tower.
With how accurate Xiang is with those stuns on Syndra, it's basically like he has Sona alt level stuns on an incredibly low cooldown. He's maxed his E. It's on an 8-second cooldown right now, and that's why TPA just has to abandon ship. He gets another one.
He gets another one onto Jay. There's the ultimate coming through. Easy kill picked up, but now Bebe going to be focused. Archie is going to ultimate himself, which is all well and good, but he's going to die straight away afterwards. That will be a double kill for Xiang. Only really Going went low in that fight. It's now 5 versus 3 with 30 seconds on 2 players.
They're in the base.
They're in the base, yeah.
There's nowhere left for TPA to run. They went behind 4 turrets, basically, and they still died to OMG. OMG, a team that very rarely falls behind early, but if they do, they're even better in the late game. You have to beat them early, and here's why.
And as finally the minions come through, they were behind 2 turrets there in the enemy
they're gonna keep going.
And they're in there again as Alan is going to go low. Morning will be focused. Pomelo gets himself another kill, his 7th of the game. That turret is still alive, and now San is having to go on towards Bebe. He's going to pay the price here, though. Did actually get a kill, and he's still alive. The sustain there coming out somehow manages to live through it. What
He is doing whatever he wants. They are basically spawn camping TPA right now. OMG absolutely putting their foot down and destroying TPA.
This is surely the end of this game now. OMG, after doing a bit of exhibitional play there, you have to feel Win's now going to be the focus. He repels up.
Where's he going to go?
Where's he going to go? He's going to come straight back down. Oh, bit of fountain damage there. Didn't actually kill San, funnily enough, in the end. And there is Morning. He's going to be focused. Wild Growth comes in. Have they got the finish yet? Yes, they have. Xion is now dominating at 9-1-6. TPA trying to push them away. One Nexus turret did go down in that one. They're looking for the kill.
Keep going.
Another group stun comes in. There's the stun on towards Archie. And now Bebe has to flash off to the fountain.
Oh!
Finally they kill off
They got one.
San is there though, and I think the poison, will it be enough damage? No, it won't.
This just shows you how far ahead OMG is right now, and they're just... It would seem like reckless play, but they only died once. They're almost stat padding. 27 kills to 9, 30-minute game. OMG dominates.
Nexus gonna go down from this one. Very convincing performance out of the Chinese outfit. You see that? Looking very cool about that one, almost as if it was too easy for them. And let's not forget, it wasn't the easiest of games. Level 1 was an absolute mess for OMG.
The very start of this game, OMG looked a little bit confused. They did die in that level 1. They sent people to strange lanes. They didn't have a great jungle start, and then it happened. You looked up, Xion was double the CS of Morning, and they just started controlling people. From the mid lane, they would get a kill, they'd pull TPA towards the lane, and they would kill them on the way. Alan, great support late play. San with a Twitch, again showing why he is such a powerful AD carry internationally. But most important, Syndra, Xion, showing why he's the MVP.
Showing why you should probably be banning out that Syndra here against Xion. Absolutely amazing performance from him. 9-1-7 in the end. Didn't have much problem at all during the entire